Hi, my name's Forrester Lybrand, and I'm going to be answering some questions you guys asked last week. Where did you learn to write? How did you get started? I've been telling stories and writing stories since I was a kid. I've said this elsewhere, but before I could even write, or before I knew how to write, I would dictate stories to my mom. She would write down, I would draw pictures, and then she would staple the pictures together and write down the whatever was going on, the dialogue and stuff, as told by me. So I don't know, it's just something I've been doing forever. Do you have a writing/drawing schedule, or do you just grab available time? I do it when I can. Drawing especially is just if there's spare time for it. I love to sit outside and write where it's in the evening when it's dark. There's nothing really distracting you. It's just you and the glow of your laptop screen. In the past, I've tried to, okay, I'm gonna sit down and write for an hour. And that never really works, for me at least. You need a word count, a word goal. You need to sit down and say, I'm gonna write 200 words and then be done. And oftentimes you reach your goal and keep going. But when I'm really trying to make progress on a novel, I have, 1,000 words a day at least, so that I can finish the first draft within a few months, rather than dragging it out. The thing about sitting down for a certain amount of time to write or do anything is that time can be wasted, but results that you can actually measure, like words, are way more motivating. Do you ever have the fear of the white page? Sure, everyone does. Especially when you start a brand new book or a brand new chapter. It's open water all of a sudden. The easiest way to conquer a white page is to destroy it. Meaning, write something down. Get rid of the whiteness and just write. Because whatever you write, guess what? You don't have to keep it. You can throw it away. Edgar Allan Poe would do that. He would write himself into a story and then delete the first chapter or the first paragraph or whatever. So just put something down and don't worry about how good it is. If you do that with art too, drawing, you're just gonna sit there and very slowly draw. And it probably won't even look that good no matter how meticulous and careful you're being. So you just gotta get to work. Start hacking away. Would you ever think of doing an epic fantasy? I've kind of already done one. I don't know how epic it is. The Beast King, though, is as close as I've come to epic fantasy, I suppose. It's not as fairy tale-ish as Twig Chap and Trixie and Roy and the Sassafras 3. It's less jokey, it's more proper high fantasy the way we think of it. If that's more your cup of tea, epic fantasy, try out The Beast King, because it's a lot more in that direction. It's no fairy story, it's not talking animals and Victorian clothed miscreants going about and bothering one another. It's more knights on a quest fighting monsters and braving wilderness and all that good stuff. That said, I've been for years writing an epic fantasy, which is quite long at this point, well over 600 pages or so. A lot of characters, a lot of different plots, a lot of different countries and things coming together and colliding. So to answer your question, yes, I'm in the middle of writing an epic fantasy, but there's also the Beast King to try out. And I hope to finish this big monster of a story, I don't know, maybe by the spring. There's no way I'm gonna be able to print it. I think I'll just slap it on Kindle once it's ready. What's your favorite thing about writing? I think I still like writing for the same reasons I liked it as a child. You just get to make up stories. You get to make up people and their lives and what they did, and you can make it exciting. Writing, for me at least, is very much like playing a game, like when you're a kid, and you just invent what you're doing, where you're going, and then all of a sudden, boom, a dragon attacks you, or, oh no, you're lost and captured by some witch in the woods or something. A lot of writers, I can't speak for them, but based on things they've said and just the tradition of writing, a lot of them seem to take it very seriously, and it's just very important to represent their soul, or to try to prove some topical point, some current social issue they want to tackle, and I don't care, that's fine. But for me, it's just playing games. It's imagination. It's just having fun. Do you have an audiobook? Not a complete audiobook. I have spent a lot of time and posted several chapters from several of my books. There's one from Twig Chap, there's 3 from the Sassafras 3, there's one from Trixie and Roy, there's one from The Beast King on my YouTube page. It's not just sitting down and reading straight through and then, you know, you click go and then you click stop and there's your book. It's a lot of time and effort, and I unfortunately don't have that at the moment. I'll have 10 different takes of one line sometimes because I'm crazy like that, and I have to sit and listen to each one and cut to the best one. And so anyway, all that is a lot of time. So no, I don't have a complete audiobook. I don't think I will for a long time till I'm like independently wealthy and can just sit around and record myself all day. That said though, if you like listening to my stories read by me, that's great. There's a lot of recordings on my YouTube that you can go listen to now. What's one of your favorite sentences or paragraphs you've ever written? I really enjoy describing a scene. I used to hate it, actually. I used to hate describing, but now it's quite fun, especially when you're in a fantasy world. I like this description of Wasper in the autumn wing of the wood. Sometimes Wasper saw shapes of, I have to do the fake British accent because that's how it sounds in my head. Sometimes Wasper saw shapes of peoples in the distance, not in the way they pursued, but to either hand far off. Little people, probably hobs. Some hobs lived in the jinxie thicket, others only toured it or made holiday there. But Wasper saw other shapes, tall characters with bulging backs, bears or possibly tartags who sometimes roved into the trees from the plains. They were woolly, lumbering, hungry creatures. Then there were ranty figures standing near stumps or pots. Wasper could smell spice and mud cooking. Other low-set bodies stood near them. Not all magicians were proud and swaggering. Not all wizards went abroad in daylight. These were secret folk, dangerous and impossible to speak to in peace. They boiled and played and worked in lockstep pagantry. They hoped only for bedlam and meant only infliction. This is why I'm excited about this book and hope you guys will read it, grab a copy, because it's October right now currently, and it's just it's a lighthearted book, but there's a lot of spooky moments like that. It's fun to just kind of write about a sort of haunted, Halloween-ish neck of the wood. If you do, how do you deal with self-doubt about your writing? Sure, I deal with self-doubt. I think everyone does. Even established writers, I've read them as saying that, you know, you're only as good as your last book. A lot of self-doubt is from telling yourself you have to be great, and the story has to be great, and has to be like no other story that's ever been told, and that's nonsense, because really all stories have been told, if we're honest. It's just they haven't been told by you. Self-doubt can cripple your voice, and it can cripple your ability to finish projects. For me, you just kind of ignore it and you just press on. And get over the thought that you have to somehow be special and it has to be like brilliant and wonderful and great. Especially your first draft. You know, Ernest Hemingway famously said, first drafts are crap. Only he didn't say crap. But they are, because you're just writing it for the first time. It's not gonna be perfect, it's gonna be flawed. So you have to sit and edit it and rework it and delete portions and add portions and tweak character motivations that didn't make sense before. And you tinker with it. Always view it as a work in progress. Always view it as something that can be tweaked and changed, and it's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if it's not even that good. Typically, if I am just insecure about something I'm writing, I can set it aside and take a break, and that's fine. But usually if I just go ahead and keep writing and push past whatever was frustrating me, 10 minutes later I'll have forgotten those insecure feelings. They're gone. I'm in the story again, and I'm moving, and you're not stopped, and you're not fretting about that, whatever your hang up was before. You just have moved on, and you get that momentum going. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Twig Chap, my newest book. Go get it. It's a lot of fun. I'm gonna do another video talking about it in greater depth, because I think it's a really nice little story. All right, see you later. Not really, this is a video.